welcome back to the Radical Care for Christian Counselors podcast. We're so excited that you're here. And if you missed the previous episode with Vaughn and I, you can go back and watch that. We would love for you to be able to do that. But if this is your first time on the Radical Care for Christian Counselors podcast, we want to make sure that you're in the right place. And this is how we make sure that you're in the right place. If you find that you struggle, regardless of what you're in isolation and overwhelm, if you really like the idea of being part of a group where you feel seen, soothed, secured, and known, and if you question if that really exists, this is the place for you. Because we talk about relationships, we talk about deep transformation, but not only that, we talk about how you can go out of authenticity into the relationships and the groups that you have, so that you dare to do more than just survive, that you can step out and thrive in your calling. So with that being said, we hope that you're in the right place. We're excited that you're here. Today, I'm going to have Vaughn reintroduce himself, but today we're going to focus more on business and ministry aspects of things, and really how to do this in a way that feels good, that feels Christ honoring. And so this has been a great topic, especially with counselors and coaches and some of my mental health professional friends are like, Bethany, I'm trying to do business, but it just feels ew, and I don't know how to balance that with everything. So Vaughn and we're going to tackle that together. But before we get started, Vaughn, I would love for you to share with our people, who are you and what do you have to offer in this business space?
Sure. I wear a ton of different hats. My wife often asks, "So, what job are you doing today?" And that's because for a long time I've been in IT. So I'm an IT cybersecurity sales person. Also, I'm a local church pastor, as well as a digital marketer and copywriter. And that's really where my passion leads. I think that's where my next season will be, in helping Christian coaches and entrepreneurs, as well as mental health professionals, be able to showcase who they are online so they can attract their ideal audience.
That's huge. So when you're talking about like showcasing who you are online, I think that can encompass so many things, right? And
Mhm.
so can you tell us like what exactly that means? Like how do you showcase who you are online without like getting a big head or without feeling weird about it?
Yeah, when you look at the digital media and social media world, we just have this technology at our fingertips, and a lot of people use it to be influencers, so to speak, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one piece of it. However, there are people using these social media tools in order to solve general problems. How do I deal with bullying? How do I
Mm-hmm.
get through depression? How do I get over overwhelm? How do I do all these different types of things? And many of, just like yourself, or many of the people that are listening or watching here, have a gift where they can answer some of those questions. And people are drawn to others, whether it's through a podcast with video, audio, and so forth. And there's a way, Bethany, that you communicate that maybe I can't, where people are more drawn to you than me. And so by us all getting out and showcasing who we are authentically, then we're able to help the people solve a lot of the challenges that they're seeing.
That's huge. I love that. And so, one of the biggest questions I get asked, as far as this podcast goes and video stuff that I do, they're like, Bethany, I am afraid, this is them talking to me, Bethany, I'm afraid of making mistakes. And they watch me, and I make
Mhm,
mistakes on here all the time. If
mhm,
anybody's been around for long enough, you've seen, and we just
mhm,
kind of go with it because I want people to see that the authenticity side of me. And so, with that being said, where are you in the fences for like how do you know to balance? Like, obviously, if I totally blow something out of the water, I'm retaping.
yeah.
I haven't had to do that much, but it does. So, where do you balance between okay, I can slip up or, be my authentic self, show my mistakes versus no, we kind of need the more professional side of things. Like, what does that
Mhm.
look like?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's really one of the myths that we see out there. You see so much produced video, but the
Yeah.
realization is most people aren't looking for the production value, because they
Yes.
they feel like it's somebody trying to, like a commercial or some TV show. They can see that on everything else. What they're looking for is that authenticity, and we're all flawed. We all make
Mm.
mistakes, and so we see ourselves and other people, and feel better about ourselves, like, well, they just showing up authentically, so I can too. And it gives those people permission to do so. Now, obviously, in these professions, you don't want to cause any harm. You want to do what's best to for other people. And so, yeah, if you say things, something that is wrong, or
Yeah.
something that will send somebody down the wrong path, then you want to redo it. Do make sure you do your research and things of that nature. But if you flub a word here or there, or if I hit the microphone or I sneeze, that's life. That stuff happens.
Yes, I love that. And that shows people that you're real, right?
Yes.
I love how you said that. Like, don't purposely do it. But I mean, that's why
Mhm.
I like being myself. I want people to see me on and off camera as the same person. And I think
Yeah.
you really demonstrate that well in what you do. So, Vaughn, in your business, you do so many different things, which I am just amazed at your creativity and what I mean, you're just multi-talented, which I love. So,
Thank you.
you see this person, they're either just starting out in coaching, or maybe they just got their Christian counseling business, or whatever area they're in, and they're about to step out into business for the first time. Where do they start? Like, how do you show up in a way that's authentic? I cannot say that authentically. There we go.
There we go.
How do
Being
we show
authentic.
up
There you are.
authentically and actually honor God at the same process? Like, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I tend to overthink things, and so I was at
Mhm.
that stage for a really long time. And really, when any of us start a business, the people have to know that we start a business. Like, people are just not going to show up and like, "Hey, I heard you passed your certification," or "I heard you're doing this new things." Oftentimes, the first time that they're hearing about it is you telling them. And so, starting with your friends and family, hey, I'm doing something new. This is who the people that I want to help, and this is why I want to help them, and this is the way I want to help them. And you start getting comfortable. One, the time that I realized that I was ready to get started is when I told somebody I was a coach, and it just rolled
Mm,
off my tongue. And I'm like, that's right, I am a coach. you know, but it took
I love
me
it.
telling a couple people without really feeling wholeheartedly into it before I really embodied what that is and what that looked like. And so that's really your first step, is to working within your network, letting them know what you're up to, asking the question about this is what I'm doing. Do you know anybody that might be able to benefit from some of these things?
Yeah, that's huge. And okay, so let's just go ahead and talk about it, because I know it's something that we have to talk about to get into the authenticity part of our conversation here. So, Vaughn, I know when I first started years ago now as a coach, just like what you were saying, it just rolled off the tongue
Mhm.
eventually. For the
Yeah.
longest time, I was fighting imposter syndrome. I'm
Mhm.
like, what? Especially after you
Mhm.
just get certified, or you just do these groups and court, and you're just like, so what was that like for you, and what could you do to encourage, because that's what a lot of people are facing, like, I can't do that, I can't compare myself to this person because this person's doing it this way. So
Mhm.
what would you have to say to those people who honestly don't know which way they're going to go,
Mhm.
and they might be dealing with some imposter syndrome right now?
Absolutely. And you're right. You can't compare yourself to anybody who's doing one thing or anything, and they can't compare themselves to you. I
Yes.
love how God has uniquely created each and every one of us and given us these specific gifts that are unique to each of us. And so
Mm,
I can't be you, you can't be me. And when I started pastoring and preaching, I tried to be all these different preachers that I looked up to and admired, but it all fell flat because it wasn't
mm,
me. And I had to realize who I am, who God created me to be, and the voice that He's given me, and so that I can reach the people that He's called me to reach. And nobody else can do that. And that's what's amazing. He's God has never made a mistake, and He's created each and every
mm,
one of us in a special way. And we need to embrace that, or else we call God a liar. And I don't know about you, but my God's not a liar.
mm, mm. More, this is a sermon right there.
I can't help it; it comes out.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, yeah, I could just like drop right there. Like, if you got that, people, you got that free of charge, just letting you know. But that was awesome. Oh man, so good. And okay, so I want to go back just a minute, and you were talking about starting with your people
Mhm.
and how that just sounds so foreign. Like, I did not hear you, and you are the you're one of my marketing gurus. I don't know if you know that or not. But just to show up authentically, I always thought of you, Vaughn. But here you are. You've got YouTube stuff. You've got web presence. You got all that stuff. And the very first thing you told me to do is to go to your people.
Mhm.
So why is that step so important? Why shouldn't I, go get my website or get my TikTok going or make sure I have all this other stuff? Why is it so important to start with my people first?
That's those people who know you and are closest to you, right? They hopefully they can be honest with you, to share with you what it is that they think about what it is you're doing. So it reminds me of was it America's Got Talent or whatever, with a showcase and go off and sing in this competition, and you could tell the people who don't have anybody who would tell them the truth, like because if they did, they
Mm,
wouldn't be on the stage, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
so going to people who know you, like you, and they can give you direct feedback as to, hey, I can see you in this role, you'll do great or excel at it. Or to say, well, maybe you should think of it this way, or maybe, or have you thought of this? Or really, where I see your gifting is in these areas, because often we don't see the things that we are good at because we can't see the
mm,
forest from the trees, right? We're too close to it, and it takes
yes,
somebody from the outside coming in to say, I see this in you. I wouldn't be a preacher today if somebody hadn't spoke that into me, like, hey, I see you doing this based on how you carry yourself and how you connect with people. And but I wouldn't have never thought about it any other way. And so hopefully those people that are closest to you would be able to tell you. And if they support you in that way, then they'll go tell others. And so,
yes,
yeah, you can do the website, you can do the TikTok, you do all those things, but sometimes that is avoidance. Instead of
yeah.
doing the work that needs to be done, you're trying to get your website perfect so people can come to it, but people aren't going to come to it because they don't know what you're doing first. So it's like putting the cart before the horse.
Yes. Yeah, and it's so true. And you reminded me, both of us connected again. We were on YouTube for a while and we were at a Facebook group for a while. And then I think we just went our different ways and life hit. And then all of a sudden, we both found each other in Justin Janowski's Faith to Influence sales school
Yeah.
together. We were so excited. And it hits me that exactly what we're talking about right here about starting with your people. Be yourself. Start with that small community. Don't spend all this extra time on the website because your people really will tell you the truth. Your people really will support you. And that is a group right there. That is a group. And so what you're saying is, and I'm hearing this two ways now, and all this stuff is coming to me. But one thing that Justin Janowski taught us in sales school is exactly what you're saying. Start with your people, start with your group, start with those people that are close to you, start with your network. But not only that, when you start building your professional network with other coaches, with other counselors, to really get them alongside too and realize you're not fighting for each other's business, you're
Right.
working together. How can you really encourage one another? Because the second you start doing that, you will grow your business because you'll be getting encouragement and you'll be sharing referrals back and forth. So it's not in competition. It
Right.
should be a brother and sister community of encouragement, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and not to preach more, but I mean, our God is a God of abundance, and
Yes.
so we don't need to have a scarcity mindset to think, well, if I
Mm,
work with this person, then they're going to take my people, and I'm going to take their people. There's
yep.
tons and tons of people out there, and again, some that are waiting for you to hear the
Yes.
message that you have from your unique voice, and so
Yes.
we need to operate through that abundance.
I love that. I love that. Okay, Vaughn. So I now have my network. I have a small network going, and I'm at the point where I need to get a website or a blog or TikTok or something. And I come to you. What do you help me do?
Sure, and based on where you are and what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, that might depend. But having a website, just a landing page there, it's great to be on the social networks of the TikToks and the Facebooks and X's and so forth. That's fantastic until you get your account taken away or they get
Yeah.
banned, they go offline. You
Yep.
don't own that space. And so it's great to have a space that you yourself own, and that will be in your website, right? Where
Yeah.
people can go and find information. They can get to your email list. And that will be the first way I would encourage people to go. Yes, you could do all the other things at the same time or even cross post, maybe you advertise your blog post or something else on X or something like that, but you need that home base. And I would encourage people to start an email list because, again,
Yeah.
that's a place that you own. You get to communicate with them directly. And if you're selling something, you get to sell to them directly. And they've already built that know, like, trust with you, where
Yes.
they've already gotten value from you. And if you're anything like me, who's a very loyal person, and if somebody that I've been following for years, anything that they have for sale, I'm buying. And so we all have those people that we connect with. And that's
Yes.
the first step I think is important for us to cultivate.
I love it. And I'm just going to throw it out there. What is the name of the CRM that you connected me with that you have?
Yeah, I have a platform, all-in-one platform for business owners and coaches called Abundance CRM. Speaking of abundance, right? Abundance
Mm-hmm.
CRM is just a basis for you to run your business that enables you to connect with your clientele through building landing pages, having email sequences, connecting with them on social networks, and so on and so forth, even building communities as well, so that we get rid of all the other technical things that are out there, so I don't learn these individual technologies and platforms. It's all in one platform where you can manage it from one place and be able to build your business.
Yeah. And Vaughn really helped me out doing this because I had my stuff scattered. And I remember when Vaughn first introduced me to this, and I just remember this able to take a deep breath. And also with my vision loss, there's been so many platforms that may be great, but I can't use. With my
Yeah.
technology on my side, I can't use. And so when Vaughn introduced this to me, and knowing that I could just stay on that one screen and get most, if not everything done, it just made me think of, I know you say this, I know several other people say this, and I'm not the best at it, but keep it simple.
Yes.
Keep it simple. And it's so easy, I think, sometimes in our businesses, to either A, look and see what other people are doing, or B, think of where we think we should be. And we complicate things, don't we? At least
Yes.
I do. I think of these huge projects. Vaughn knows. I think of these huge projects, and he's like, okay, so back to reality, Bethany. What do you really need to get done? I'm horrible at this. And so it's always good if you think like that. If you're a big visionary like I am, and you kind of forget about how long things should take, it's great to get somebody like Vaughn in your corner that goes, okay, I see the dream. I'm with you. I can do this part. Or maybe we can work on this small part right now. This is what you need to do right now. And he kind of organizes things. And that's what Vaughn's really done for me. So I appreciate it. And I really do say he's an amazing person to work with.
And I appreciate that as well. So the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I've seen people like you and others who are so caught up and stuck in trying to get the thing working and not really doing the thing you're designed to do. And I
Yeah.
want to remove those roadblocks, get you out
Mm-hmm.
there serving your people so that their lives can be strengthened and transformed. And instead of having the roadblock of this technology and how do I get this widget to work, let me take that off your plate so you can serve the people who are out there that need to be served.
That's huge. Ah, Vaughn, I love this. I love it. I don't want this to end. You'll probably have you back on because there's so many different things I feel like we could talk about. But
Yeah.
before we do that, Vaughn, how can people connect with you?
Yeah. I always love talking to you every time we get together. But yeah, if anybody else wants to connect with me, you could do so. My home base is vaughnsanders.com. And if you are interested in Abundance CRM, you can check out abundancecrm.com as well.
That's awesome. Yes. Vaughn, it has been great having you. And I'll just circle back. We talked about so many things, which is typical for our conversations. But one
Yeah.
thing that I
Yeah.
keep on hearing every time that we talk is the importance of community, whether
Yeah.
it's community that's around you, that's supporting you, starting there, or even a bigger community that can actually take the technology stuff off your plate so you can do what you can create to do. That community has seen you, that community knows you, that community can encourage you. And so if you're watching this and you're going, I don't have a community, like I'm a counselor, I'm a mental health professional, I'm a pastoral care leader, I need groups, I want to launch groups, but I need one of my very own. That is what Step Out and Thrive does. We would love to be there for you. If you go to bethanyboring.com, you can get some of the resources, even a community that you can connect with. and to start that journey on yourself. And really, I want you to leave here encouraged. So I hope you were able to get some encouragement today and know that you do have an amazing gift that God has given you. So go live it out. And we're cheering for you and we're encouraging. And if there's anything that we can do, feel free to let us know. And remember, always dare to do more than just survive, step out and thrive. See you guys next week. Bye.